I would like to request all the attendees to please stand on your feet as our special guest is arriving.
Good morning to one and all. First of all, I would like to extend a warm welcome to the esteemed official present here today and all the attendees. We are lagging behind few minutes, so without wasting further time, I will read out today's program. I believe everyone has a copy of today's program, but to make sure, I will once again read it out. The 78th Naga Independence Day celebration. Program, date 14 August 2024, time 10 a.m., venue, Brigadier Sirohi Ground,
Tumion Kulen, Tahamzam, Senapati District. Organized by UNC Naga Women Union, All Naga Student Anthem Association Manipur, and hosted by Naga People Organization Senapati. Our special guest is Sir R.H. Rising, member of the Collective Leadership GPRN. Presenter would be Adani Devi Choro, former President ANSAM, and announcer would be Ms. Li Sheshwana, Convener Organizing Committee. Followed by patriotic song from Adani Ozu and solidarity message from Naga Hoho, Naga Mothers Association, Naga Student Federation, NPM HR, and Global Naga Forum. Followed by choreography from Sunday School, Tikulen Baptist Church. A discourse on geopolitical dynamics, negotiating our way through the political conundrum, followed by folk fusion from Jiri Kauna, and a special prayer from Reverend Chaijinba Rakhangmi, Executive Secretary, TNBA. And closing song, Healing of Our Spirit, with a benediction from Reverend Father Dr. William Nipuni, Principal, St. Xavier College, Senapati. This is the program for today's.
Happy Independence Day. Now we have the introduction and welcome note from CH Loli Seshuna, the convener of the organizing committee.
For RH Racing, member collective leadership, would you please stand and show your face to the congregation? Please stand. Kilo Councillor for 7 times, Secretary, Steering Committee, Convener, Steering Committee, member, he is presently the member collective leadership. And under his leadership, he has led successful political campaigns in UK, USA, the Netherlands, Germany, South Korea, South Africa, Thailand, and others. He also attended United Nations meeting at Earth Charter, The Hague, Netherlands. And in my few interactions with him, I have found him to be very articulate. He's a strategist, and he stands strongly for the Naga Nation. We are very happy to have you here, sir, in our midst. The ushers, please bring the gift. May I request the President UNC to hand over the gift to our special guest. Thank you, sir. Next, we have Mrs. Avis Racing, Deputy Kilonser. And I believe she is the Mrs. of our special guest. Yeah. Next, we have two members of collective leadership. As I call out your name, please stand in your seats. Major General K.V. Sona, MC, member collective leadership. And we have Mr. Hingba, member collective leadership. You don't feel that. Next, we have Major General Chinayo, MC, MM, Executive Member, Steering Committee. And I think we also have Mrs. Honesty, a member of the Steering Committee. Would you please stand in your seats? We also have Vipo Cho, Steering Committee. And Mr. V.S. Jonah, member, Executive Member, Steering Committee. If you're here on stage, yeah, please stand up. Next, we have Mr. Simon Peter Kilonser, Kaulio Kilonser, CF Kilonser. Imperialist Steering Committee. Okay, thank you. The British imperialistic government officially recognized Naga's unique historical, political, social system, belief system, cultural system, and values in 1935 when the Government of India Act was adopted by the British Empire. On the 14th of August, 1947, Nagas declared our independence a day before India did, declaring our will and resolve to remain a Naga in the true sense of the term. No external force has conquered the Nagas, not even the mighty British Empire. India and Myanmar, then Burma, has forcefully occupied our territory and have unsuccessfully used various external agencies, stooges, and our military might to suppress, oppress, and crush the Nagas. As we negotiate with the GOI to find an amicable solution, which is just, humane, and politically correct for both the Nagas and the Indians, let us remain steadfast and unyielding in our commitment to the noble Naga cause till we achieve our goals. It is in this context and situation that we have framed the topic of our discourse as geopolitical dynamics, negotiating our way through the political conundrum. May today's discourse, queries, and answers enlighten each Naga individual present today in this August gathering, and the Nagas at large in finding a solution to the political status of the Nagas. I, on behalf of UNC, Naga Women Union, and ANSAM, welcome each individual present here to the 78th Naga Independence Day. Kugnari.
Thank you, Ms. Dani Uzo, for the melodious song. We are honored to have a message from our Honorable Ato Kelonser T.H. Muiva. So may I request our special guest, Mr. Aris Racing, to kindly read out the message. Sir, please.
I'm reading out the message of our Honorable Ato Kelonser, Mr. T.H. Muiva. My dear comrades and countrymen, on this August 1947, when Naga Independence Day was declared, history was created. It was a proud moment for the Nagas to assert their rights as a nation to be among the Committee of Independent Nations. In conformity with the dignity of the Nagas, and as demanded by the UN standard, it was informed to the United Nations and duly acknowledged. The declaration was also informed to the Government of India and the King of England, George VI, as well. We did not fail to do the right thing in accordance with the spirit of UN Charter of Human Rights that mentioned, quote, recognizing the peoples of the world ardently desire the end of colonialism in all its manifestations, unquote. In keeping with the spirit of UN Charter with sovereign equality of states, it was cabled to the Secretary General of United Nations that read, quote, Pinant Excellency, kindly put on record that Naga will be independent. Discussions with India are being carried on to that effect. Nagas do not accept the Indian constitution. The right of the Naga must prevail regardless of size, unquote. Thus, Nagas have taken into consideration to follow human dignity in accordance with the UN Charter, quote, to encourage respect for each other's rights and freedoms, unquote. I'm proud to say that in pursuit of our freedom, Nagas have not folded in any manner that contravenes international law. This is on record. Nagas are peace-loving people, and we have always followed peaceful process to have our sovereign right respected and honored. Nagas are sovereign nation since time immemorial. Our great freedom fighters awakened themselves as a people and as a nation to stand up for their rights and assert their independence through non-violent resistance and civil disobedience movement. Today, it is our privilege to remember them and pay homage to them for their exemplary leadership, courage, and sacrifice for the cause of Naga nation, inspired by the spirit of Nagalim for Christ. My dear comrades and countrymen, 75 years down the lane, we have not lost the courage and the spirit of freedom had not waned. We have kept pace with the spirit of 1997 ceasefire to find lasting Naga political solution. Our steadfastness in sticking to our guns resulted in signing the historic framework agreement of August 3, 2015. This was a milestone achievement of Indo-Naga political dialogue, as the sovereign right of the Nagas people was recognized after more than 7 decades of Naga political struggle. When NSN signed the framework agreement, we have taken much thought for the future security of the Naga people, lest we commit another mistake. Needless to say, framework is a, quote, matter of life and death for the Nagas. If we fail to grasp the political significance of framework agreement by displaying total lack of political foresight, the world at large will laugh at us for being frivolous when given such opportunity to make the best use of framework agreement. Even the time will come when the next generation will question the Nagas of today for their misplaced approach to the given historic framework agreement that carried the sovereign identity of the Naga people as a nation. Rather, it will be, quote, Himalayan blunder, unquote, if the Nagas place themselves at the wrong side of the framework agreement. To put on record the recognition of the sovereign identity of the Naga nation, the framework agreement mentioned, quote, peaceful coexistence of the two entities, unquote, which means India and Nagaland will have peaceful coexistence. This may go on for 10 years or 50 years, depending on how the mutual understanding is interpreted in the right spirit. But if India indulges in what is called, quote, a departure from what is proper, unquote, between the two entities, dragging the vulnerable Nagas into dangerous political brinkmanship, India will be accused or held responsible for serious breach of agreement with respect to peaceful coexistence of the two entities as mentioned in framework agreement. My dear countrymen, we fully acknowledge your contribution and forbearance during the course of the movement. This is what we count the most, as we have to serve one another to safeguard the political and national identity of the Nagas under any adverse situation. You know, we have all put in a lot of, quote, blood, sweat, and tears to defend our political rights. We have paid heavy price for the love of our freedom. Our love for freedom means to have to bear one another's burden. We have to make personal sacrifice for the common good. We cannot have what is ours unless we pay the price. Unless we struggle ourselves, no one else will come forward to help us. Unless we defend our freedom, we risk becoming a lost people. Thank God we have stood the ground. We are very grateful to our Almighty God for giving us many friends and sympathizers both in India and abroad, where the people who understand and respect the legitimacy of the Naga issue. For this reason, we have established strong footholds in the international organizations like UNPO and others across the world. We are highly indebted for their unflinching support. My dear comrades and countrymen, the day the Government of India and the National Socialist Council of Nagaland signed the historic framework agreement on 3rd of August 2015, the world came to know better about the political rights of the Naga nation. This is no ordinary event of history. The whole process of signing ceremony was live broadcast and given the status of a high-profile political solemnity, and the whole was made to watch, to bear witness. Importantly, Prime Minister Narendra Modi led the massing of applauding throng from his government. It was equally matched by the presence of NSN dignitaries. Given the political importance that will go down into Indo-Naga history, Prime Minister Narendra Modi understood the trouble to supervise the detail from the beginning to the end. Ironically, the same Prime Minister has turned cool as the year keeps going away. What makes him so slow in implementing framework agreement? His own brainchild. Certainly, he is default, playing with the protected Naga issue. My dear countrymen, we know the stable economy is the survival of the nation. God has not left out Nagaland without any natural resources to sustain the economy of the Nagas. Nagaland is sitting on a fortune of mineral as God has blessed Naga nation abundantly. It is endowed with major mineral resources, including petroleum, spread out in different parts of Nagaland. It belongs to us, and nobody can exploit it at the cost of undermining the sovereign ownership. The right of ownership over our land resources is absolute, and no amount of casting covetous eyes will change the course. My dear comrades and countrymen, Nagas are now living through unique moments of our history. The world, as we see, is in turmoil. There is noise around the Nagas areas in Myanmar. We cannot afford to stand like a coward when our lands are under threat of being dominated by people of alien origin. Land and people cannot be separated. Whatever may betide, we shall stand the ground to defend our God-given land. Naga nation means Naga people with land of their own. We shall not tolerate against any force on earth poking their nose to keep the Nagas divided, either through arbitrary decision or political means. Our forefathers have sacrificed the best of their life and went through blood, sweat, and tears to build the foundation of Naga people as a nation. Why should we allow ourselves to be used as cheap commodity, betraying the visions of our pioneers, freedom fighters, to be traded in exchange for a short-term gain? The consequences of our code never caring approach for the well-being of future generation, unquote, will certainly put us on the road to political damnation. What is nagging for Christ? For us, if the rare essence is misplaced from our hearts, how beautiful the Naga political movement would be if we prove ourselves as the exemplary figures and accept the divine inspiration that is no insurmountable problem if we trust God and surrender our political structure under His command. Let us stand firm in His name and give glory to Him always. Good night.
Thank you, sir, for delivering us the message from Ato Kelon, sir. Let us all remember our collective leaderships in a prayer to carry forward our movement forward. Thank you. Now, we have a presentation from the Village Authority of Tikulen. So may I give the time to the Village Authority of Tikulen for the presentation.